Hey guys, welcome to my channel and I'm back again with another really interesting video guys, and in this video we are going to explore Gradient AI for fine tuning your model. We are going to fine tune today NousHermes model with our own data set and with a small snippet of Python code. So without taking any time further, let's get started. So first of all guys, GradientAI is basically a new company that has given us a lot of methods and ways to automate our manual processes with the help of AI. And one of that process is actually fine tuning. So GradientAI gives us their own Python libraries, their own method, and in fact their own user interface to help us fine tune models. Now in this video we are not going to take the UI or the no code way. That will be a separate video guys. In this video we are going to use a Google Colab notebook and we are going to fine tune our model. So let's get started. So first thing first guys, you can see in this Google Colab notebook that we are installing certain libraries. So that's the first step. You have to install LlamaIndex LLM's gradient, LlamaIndex fine tuning library. Once you have these libraries installed, another thing you have to install is plain LlamaIndex and Gradient.AI. Okay, these are the basic libraries you have to install. Once that is done guys, the most important steps come is importing those libraries and getting the API key. So we need gradient based model LLM, we need gradient fine tuning engine to fine tune that LLM, and we need the user data to actually import the secrets that you have provided in your Google Colab secrets here. Okay, but where do I get these secrets from? Where do I get these API keys from? So you need two things. You need gradient access token which is nothing but your API key or almost, and you need your workspace ID. So this is Gradient.AI page guys. First you have to do is you have to log in here. If you don't have an account, you have to sign up and you have to create an account. So you can see if because I already have a login, so I will just click here and you can see that I am definitely already logged in. So I come to my workspace. First thing is you have to create a workspace for you. So I have already created a workspace. Once you have created your workspace, you can get your workspace ID here, and then if you click on access token, you will get your access tokens here. That's how you get your API key, your workspace ID and your access token. And you can see that I have given that gradient API key or access token here, and I have given the workspace against the workspace ID secret, and I am just loading those two values to my OS environment variable gradient access token and gradient workspace ID. Once you have that guys, the next thing is we are actually preparing our prompt. So these are the questions we are going to ask our model, like what is my mother's name, where do bears live, what do bears look like, what do bears eat, etc, etc. But these questions guys, we have to format them in a certain way and make them a prompt, because the model that we are going to use, NousHermes model, it actually responds much better when you have got the prompt which is formatted in this way, where you have your instruction first, then you have your question, and then you have your response. So we are going to format these questions in this way, in this format, and then put them in a list, and that list is called as prompts. Now first we will test these prompts on a non fine-tuned model, okay, or you can see that any unrefined model. We are taking the NousHermes2 model, and we will just take this model name and put it into a class object, and that class is gradient based model LLM. So you provide your base model slug as base model slug, which is NousHermes2, provide your max token. Now this code basically is using the complete method of this class gradient based model LLM, and it is finding out the answers for all those prompts and putting it in the base model responses. Now these responses are of unrefined model. We haven't fine tuned them yet. This is for comparing it later. Now we go to the juicy part, which is the fine tuning part. So you can see what we are doing in fine tuning. We are creating a gradient fine tune engine object. We are passing the model. We are giving the name of the job here. Now I can change the job to something else. Let's say SLC, which is super lazy coder, NousHermes fine tuning job. Then you can give the path of your data. Now you can see that the data I have given here is in the JSON form, and the JSON object, that data must be in this format. So as I told you, the NousHermes model takes the prompts in a certain format. So the data that you are giving for fine tuning also needs to be in a certain format, where you have your instruction, you have your question, you have your system response. So this is your user question, this is your system response, and then same comes with the next input where you have your instruction. That's your user response. The user is asking what is my mother's name, and then this is the system response which is saying her name is Andrea. Okay, and then you give the fine tuning parameters here. So now I'm gonna close this, and then you can see that we are successfully training the model using this fine tuning engine. We just start with 2 epochs where we are fine tuning the engine in 2 epochs, because obviously 2 is better than 1. So we are fine tuning it on the same data twice, and then finally using this fine tune engine dot fine tune, you tune it, and then fine tune engine dot get fine tuned model, you actually get that model. So you actually can fetch this model using this method. So now we have the model, and it is time to test this model with the same prompt. So this method is basically testing that model with the same prompts, where you actually fill the list fine-tuned model responses with all the fine-tuned model responses. And now it is time to compare those, and you can clearly see, guys, when you print the result, the question is what is my mother's name? And the base model, the unrefined model says, I'm sorry, I do not have any information about my mother's name. But the fine-tuned model clearly says her name is Andrea, because we fine-tuned it on that data. And for rest of the questions, because we did not provide any fine-tuned thing, you can see that the base model actually gives you a little bit of more summary. Fine-tuned model gives you a shorter response. But you can definitely see that because we didn't fine tune anything, our data does not have any impact on that. Okay, so that's the difference, guys. If you want to fine tune your model, if you want to make sure that it gives you a certain response, you can use your data to actually train it, and it can give you that specific response. And you can see, obviously you can train different models with it, but actually GradientAI only supports Llama 2, NousHermes, and another small models. If you want to train bigger models with this, like Mistral and something other than that, you actually have to buy a premium subscription. So keep that in mind, guys. But as for tutorial basis, I think this is good enough for you to get started with fine tuning your own models and make your own AI assistant. I hope you guys like this video. If you do like this video, guys, please do not forget to like this video, share this video with your friends. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions for me, please do write on the comment section below. I would be really happy to read them, and the community will also benefit from them. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care and bye bye.